Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your morning video blog for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2014, around 6:40 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's Hump Day. It's also National Batman Day in the United States and National Hot Dog Day in the United States. Some sports news to report. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox by a score of 7-3, ending the Red Sox 5-game winning streak. And also, Big Papi hit a home run. And sad news to report in the NFL, former Cowboys fullback Robert Newhouse passed away at the age of 64 after a long illness. Robert played 12 seasons for the Cowboys between 1972 and 1983. Prayers go out to his family in this time of need. Okay? And my first subject of the day is about one of the most famous feuds in WWE history. It was between the immortal Hulk Hogan and the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. Their famous feud started in 1980 when Andre the Giant was a beloved babyface and Hulk Hogan was a hated heel, managed by Fred Blassie, and they had a big feud in the northeast part of the United States. They feuded at Madison Square Garden. They had a match at Shea Stadium where Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. They had a lot of matches in Philadelphia, Boston, Baltimore, Washington. And this feud actually they went to Mid-South at the big Superdome card in 1980, and they had continued the feud at Georgia Championship Wrestling from Florida in Tampa for some of the cards in 1980 as well. And also they had a TV match where Hogan beat up on Andre and caused Andre to bleed profusely, and Andre got mad when he was interviewed by Vince McMahon. But the most famous feud they ever had was back in 1987. It started in January 1987 on editions of Piper's Pit hosted by Rowdy Piper, while WWE President Jack Tunney awarded Hulk Hogan a big trophy for his 3 years of service, winning the WWE Championship. And the fans were going wild. Then Andre the Giant walks onto Piper's Pit and shakes Hogan's hands and says, 3 years of a long time, and Hogan was cheering Andre. The next week on Piper's Pit, Jack Tunney presents Andre the Giant with a trophy for his 15 years of being undefeated. And it was a much smaller trophy, and Andre was acknowledging the crowd. He has one thing to say, but then Hulk Hogan storms in on Piper's Pit and kind of congratulates Andre, but Andre walks out, and Piper and Hogan was still cheering for Andre. Then the next week on Piper's Pit, WWE commentator Jesse Ventura, who was the color commentator on Superstars of Wrestling, was talking with Piper, and they was arguing, saying Hogan got a bigger trophy and Andre got a smaller trophy. And he says, we got at the bottom of this. Piper would next week produce Hogan, and Jesse would say, I'll bring Andre on Piper's Pit next week. Then they have the next Piper's Pit where Piper produces Hogan, and Ventura says he produced Andre, but when Andre came out, he was with manager Bobby Heenan, and Hogan was very shocked, saying, "What's the deal with this? This Heenan's done a lot of bad stuff to everybody, including you, and you don't have to live with him." He was getting mad, and Heenan was saying to Hogan, "You used this man for 3 years. You never gave him a title shot. You laughed behind his back," he says. And Hogan says, you're on. When he proves fans pain when I won the championship, that was a bond. And then Hogan was pleading with Andre, please don't let this happen. And he was put his arms on his shoulders, and then Andre didn't like it. Get your hands off me. I'm here for one reason, and one reason only, to challenge you for a world title match at WrestleMania. And Hogan was crying, says, no. And Bobby the Brain Heenan was saying, if you don't believe it, believe this. Andre rips Hogan's shirt right off, and the cross as well. And Hogan was crying, and he was saying, "Oh no, Andre," and then Piper was saying, "You're bleeding, man. You're bleeding," because Andre put a cut on Hogan. And then this solidified Andre's heel turn, and the match was signed for WrestleMania 3 between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And the hype for this match was pretty big. The television announcers on WWE were saying this was the first time Hogan and Andre ever wrestled, but that was complete BS. And also, the interview segments before the match, like Bobby the Brain Heenan really wanted the belt, a bigger belt for Andre and stuff like that, and the press conferences with the contract signed. Hogan says, I never thought this come to this. If you just wanted a shot, you just had to ask me. And then he says, I hope it's signed in blood. 3 weeks before the WrestleMania 3 between Hogan and Andre, they had a 20-man battle royal on Saturday night's main event with Hogan and Andre in it. And Andre the Giant threw Hogan over the top rope, eliminating the champion. That was big hype. And then when WrestleMania 3 happened, over 93,000 fans packed the Pontiac Silverdome, and it was amazing. Hogan beat Andre the Giant with a body slam, but there was a few scares in this match where Hogan almost lost the title when the referee counted 2.5. He almost reached 3, and that almost caused Hogan to lose the title. But, Hogan came back and won it. And legend had it in this match, Andre the Giant was very, numb. He couldn't have feelings in his legs, I heard. Plus, he had to wear a back brace and a singlet. And after this match, Andre the Giant did not really wrestle on television or at all until Survivor Series 1987, where this feud started up again, where Hogan captained a team of him, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ken Patera, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Don Morocco against Andre, Ravishing Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy, the Natural Butch Reed, and the One Man Gang. And Hogan and Andre faced off against each other again, and Hogan was counted out of the Survivor Series. And then a few weeks later on Saturday night's main event, between a title match between Hogan and King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant was in King Kong Bundy's corner, and Andre interfered, and the referee told Andre to go back to the dressing room. And then Hogan lost that match to King Kong Bundy by counter because Bobby the Brain Heenan grabbed his leg. And then they had a rematch next month on Saturday night's main event with King Kong Bundy had Andre in his corner, and Hogan won, beat Bundy. And then when Hogan invited Andre to the ring, Andre backed off at first, and then when Hogan was posing, Andre chokes Hogan out, and several wrestlers and referees try to break that up, and this set up the match for the main event. But first, Andre's contract, Bobby the Brain Heenan sold Andre's contract to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and at the first WWE Royal Rumble, they had a contract signing between Hogan and Andre to see for the main event, and then they had some altercation. And then the main event happened on February 5th, 1988, between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. It was live on NBC. And then Hogan was in control for most of the match, but the referee was distracted by Virgil, and then Andre just does a side, like a face suplex, and beats Hogan 1, 2. But Hogan showed up 2, but the referee count 3. Andre the Giant's new WWE champion. But 30 seconds later, he sold the belt to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and then the $1 Million Man was the new WWE champion, supposedly. But then it was twin referees, because the referee looked like Dave Hebner, but it was actually Dave Hebner's twin, Earl Hebner. And then Dave knocks out Earl, and then Hogan body slams Earl onto the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, new WWE champion. But a week later, the title was voided, and then a tournament was to be held to see who was the new going to be the new WWE champion at WrestleMania 4. Hogan and Andre continued their feud on house shows and tag team matches because Andre's health was very worse and he couldn't work too many singles matches, so he had to be in tag teams. They had a match in the second round of the tournament at WrestleMania 4 but it was a double disqualification and smudged with interference by the $1 Million Man and Virgil, and then Hogan slams Andre again, but it meant nothing, and they had a couple more matches, Hogan and Andre. They had a match at WrestleFest 1988, a home video only card where in a steel cage match where Hogan beats Andre in a steel cage. Andre was climbing the steel cage trying to get out. He was well over 500 pounds. I'm surprised the ring didn't collapse for that match. And then they had one more match with Hogan and Andre one more match. It was Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage against the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant, this main event at SummerSlam at 98. That was the last time Hogan and Andre ever was in a match together, and this ended their big feud. This was one of the most classic feuds of all time. It ranks up there in WWE feud. I think I consider this as the second greatest feud of all time, because Andre the Giant passed the torch to Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 34 to be the next big icon in professional wrestling. And this was a great feud, I think. Yeah, and and Andre played the heel pretty good. And he was a pretty good heel, even though he was very limited what he could do because of his health reasons and stuff like that. It was kind of sad to see Andre the Giant have deteriorating health around this time, but he still gave a great in this feud. It's one of the greatest feuds of all time. And I think this is the second wrestler who turned against Hulk Hogan during his time in the WWE. And that's about it for this feud. I'll be back later for more of these video blogs. My next video blog is closer Trevor Hoffman, a Baseball Hall of Famer. This is Rich signing off for right now. And one more thing I gotta say, RDT, 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 RDT. Bye.